In one of my previous videos, I was talking about my book and how you can redo the exercises over and over and over again because there's a QR code in here where you can actually get the templates so that you can transfer it onto any paper you want. And you were like, that's great, but how do I transfer it over? Let me show you a couple different ways. The first thing you can do is they're PDFs, so you could print it out. If you have a laser printer, you're good to go. If you have an inkjet printer, this will all wash away. So you'd want to actually print it out, and then we can transfer it over. The first of which is to channel the olden days and make carbon copy paper, or use carbon copy paper. And carbon copy paper is effectively like a tissue paper with graphite all over one side of it. So you would need your printed design, and you can just print it out on printer paper. It doesn't need to be any sort of special paper. Then you would take your watercolor paper, put that down first, and then you're going to place your carbon copy paper on top of your watercolor paper, graphite side down. Then you're going to take your printed out design, place it on the top, and then you're going to want a pencil or a ballpoint pen, and you're just going to trace it directly on there. Push really hard so that the carbon copy is actually transferred onto the paper that you're going to be painting on. You also don't have to have carbon copy paper for this to work, so you don't have to go buy anything. Instead, you could take your printed design, flip it over, and then you're going to want to grab some chalk, a pencil, or some charcoal, and you're just going to want to cover the entire backside of this page in a nice layer of that. Then again, you're going to grab the paper that you ultimately want to paint on, flip this over so that the charcoal or graphite or chalk side is down, tape them together so they stay stable, and then grab something like a ballpoint pen and you're going to trace on top of it, and it's going to transfer that onto that paper. If you're not a fan of the mess of both of those applications, there are a couple other ways to do this. The first option is to find a window. You're going to tape your printed design onto the window, and then you're going to tape your piece of watercolor paper over that. Allowing the natural light to shine through, you're going to be able to see the pattern, and you can just draw it on the piece of paper that you're going to be painting on. I know not everybody has a printer, so what do you do in that scenario? You can actually just pull up the design on your monitor or your iPad, turn up your brightness, and then place your piece of watercolor paper on top of that, and you've got your own little light box that you can use to trace the design onto the paper you want to paint on. And that would also be a great way to shrink it down. If this is too big for you, you can just pull it on your monitor, make it the size you want, and then trace it on, and you're ready to go. And that way you don't need refill pads because you have the ability to use these designs multiple times to try them out and try new things, because I think that's the best way to learn watercolor, is trying things multiple times until you figure out what works best for you.